So this is standard 10, and this is defined neuroplasticity and the 10 principles of neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to heal or change itself. During this process, the brain forms new neurons and connections between those neurons, and these neural pathways help facilitate new learned behaviors. So there are 10 principles of neuroplasticity. The first one is use it or lose it. So the neural circuits that aren't active in the brain are the ones that will likely decline over time. And a good example for this one would be when a person has a G tube for a long period of time, for an extended period of time, they may over time lose their ability to swallow. So whenever they have it removed and they start eating foods again, they will likely be a little rusty with swallowing. They'll have to continue practicing because those muscles just weren't in use for a while. So the second principle is use it and improve it. So the training of a function should be done to improve that function over time. The third one is specificity. What you train will determine the changes that you'll see. So like you're supposed to train specific aspects that you want to see the most improvement in. And this is especially true for patients with TBIs or this is especially true for patients with TBIs during that time where their brain is first healing. Repetition matters. So we don't really know the amount of times that we need to repeat things for plasticity to be facilitated. However, we do know that the more you repeat things, the more you repeat trainings, the more it facilitates plasticity and those changes in the brain. So number 5, intensity matters. So plasticity demands intense training. So this could mean that a person who has just had a TBI, or when they are able to participate in therapy, they may be in therapy 2 hours a day for 6 days a week. And that's not like the normal, that is not the normal amount of training for a normal person. But during this time where the brain is changing and forming those new pathways, the intensity in which you practice certain skills matter. Number 7, salience matters. So the training has to be related to the person's everyday life. And this means that, what you're training the person to do needs to relate to that person in some way, that they can take something out of it that they can find significance in. Because if it's something that they don't find significance in, if it's something that they won't be using over time, it's not going to really affect the plasticity. The skills that they will be using in their everyday life are the skills that will affect their plasticity. So number 8, age matters. Younger brains tend to be more plastic than older brains, but that doesn't mean that older brains can't change. They just change at a slower rate than younger brains. Number 9 is transference. And this just means that whatever you learned during your therapy sessions, whatever that person learned during their therapy sessions, that learned behavior can make it easier for them to learn another skill that's similar to the one that they just learned. And number 10 is interference, and that just means that if the plasticity happens and the habits that the person picked up were bad habits, then those habits will impede on the person learning good habits. Um, so, yeah, that's standard 10.